Good morning. I am Gina. I am blessed to be here this morning. I am a practitioner and the spiritual director for this beloved Greater Boston Center. And we are here today to celebrate. Our topic is Breathe in the View. And we are here to celebrate our life, where we were, where we are, where we're going, and really honor every bit of it. And we're going to begin today with a song right before we get going into our prayer and our invocation, just to bring us back a little more center. And this is Marcy Baruch, who we were blessed to have live here a couple of weeks ago. And this inner space. So I invite you to just go within and allow these words to just come to life.
This inner space has the power to set me free. It's the cavern of creation and the truth of you and me. This inner space, an eternity of time. It's the moment of the holy now and the allness that is mine. This inner space contains all that I need. From deep within the invisible flows the living air I breathe. This inner space is flowing in my bones. It stirs my heart, stirs my mind, and every prayer I've ever known. So I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe.
Just breathe. Be right here and right now. And I invite you to remain in that space, in that knowing and allowing. And I invite you to allow these words, this lesson, to resonate. These beautiful words from Reverend Valerie.
Good morning, CSL, Greater Boston. Oh, this is my first time doing this, so this is feeling excited. So let's just take a moment to get quiet in your own inner space. And while taking in a deep, conscious breath, and just feel yourself breathe. Just breathe. And now I invite you to join me in recognizing and acknowledging the presence of an intelligent universe that is this one life, this one infinite, absolute, all providing source that I call God. It is everywhere present, and it is everything and everyone. And so it is in this awareness that I know that each one present in person and online is an expression of the allness of that which I call God. All that I am, or all that God is, I am. All that God is, you are. All that God is, we are. And so breathe that in, because that means that we are love, joy, life, beauty, harmony. We are the opulence of all that life is. And so I take this moment to give thanks for all the work of those who showed up to make this service possible. I bless and I give thanks for the message that will be presented to us, and absolutely give a blessing and great thanks to the messenger, knowing that the wisdom presented touches each and every one of us in a perfect way. I bless and give thanks for the technology, for all of our viewers online, and for everything and everyone, everything that, or all that it took to come to this moment. And so I now call forth the activity of the power of the presence of the divine through each and every one of us as we participate in today's Sunday service. And so I just take a deep breath. I let it all go, knowing that today's service unfolds to its perfection. I say amen. Let it be. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much. So beautiful. Everyone in the room is waving at you. Thank you so much, Reverend Valerie. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And thank you. You know, the hybrid nature of what we do right now is interesting. It is an interesting dynamic. And I say that lovingly because it gives us an opportunity to reach people all over the world. And it also shows what we believe there's only one. So, in this oneness, that same message, that same allness is right here and right now. And in the beauty of that, our reading for today is our beloved treasurer and secretary, God bless her, Darlene is going to do our reading for today, knowing that it is beautiful as she is. Absolutely beautiful.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm very happy to be here. So today the reading is a little bit short, but it's very powerful. And as I understand, Gina will be speaking about thoughts becoming things. So I looked in our favorite book, The Science of Mind text, and Ernest Holmes defines things as all things are thoughts made manifest. Nothing exists in the universe, whether it be rock, tree, or human being, that was not first an idea, that did not first exist in universal mind as a perfect concept. And to divine thought, he says, if thought is the movement of consciousness, it works through law, but that law is consciously set in motion. Those come from pages 637 and 638 of the text. And then to expand that just a bit, I went to the chapter on the power of thought. And I'll share these readings from pages 140, a paragraph, and 141. Ernest Holmes writes and teaches, in the great universal mind, man is a center of intelligence, and every time he thinks, he sets mind in action. Because of the oneness of mind, it cannot know anything outside itself, and therefore cannot contradict any thought given to it, but it must reflect or give back whatever is cast into it. We are immersed in an infinite creative medium, which, because of its nature, must create after the pattern our thought gives it. My favorite master teacher, Jesus, understood this, and in a few simple words, he laid down the law of life as this: it is done unto you as you believe. No more simple and yet no more profound statement could be made. Ernest goes on to say the law of life is a law of thought, an activity of consciousness. The power flows through us. The Spirit can do for us only what it can do through us. We have to just immediately picture John Lewis saying, take right action and good trouble and all those wonderful things that he led many of us to believe. Unless we are able to provide the consciousness, it cannot make the gift. The power behind all things is without limit, but in working for us, again, it must work through us. Realizing then that while the power is limitless, it must become operative through our own thought. We shall see that what we need is not some greater power, but a greater consciousness, a deeper realization of life, a more sublime concept of being, a more intimate concept of an already indwelling God who is personal to us by virtue of being personified through us. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you so much for that. That personalized through us. And in that, today's topic is the view from here. That individualized perspective is what we're talking about today. And that includes where we came from. Every aspect of every bit of every day of our lives created who we are right now, at least who we believe ourselves to be. And the song that I'm going to play now I love because it really is a reminder of what we've been through, where we've been in our lives, all that's gone on. And what are the words that we could have said to our younger selves to just make it a little bit easier? Well, knowing that there is no space and no time, we honor that. I feel that.
Dear younger me, where do I start? If I could tell you everything that I have learned so far, then you could be one step ahead of all the painful memories still running through my head. I wonder how much different things would be, dear younger me. Do I give some speech about how to get the most out of your life? Or do I go deep and try to change the choices that you'll make? 'Cause they're the choices that made me. And even though I love this crazy life, sometimes I wish it was a smoother ride, dear younger me. Dear younger would have had no power. My joy, my pain would have never been my worth. If I knew then what I know now, would have not been hard to figure out what I would have changed if I had heard. Dear younger me, it's not your fault. You were never meant to carry this beyond the cross. No. Dear young man, you are holy, you are righteous, you are one of the redeemed, set apart a brand new heart. Oh, you are free indeed. And every mountain, every valley, through each heartache you will see, every moment brings you closer to who you were meant to be, dear younger man.
And I realize sometimes we can easily get blocked by, there might be a word in a song or in a statement or that somebody says that may not be exactly what I believe or what I think, but that message to me is so powerful. There are messages everywhere. There are opportunities everywhere to remind us of who and whose we are and what we choose consciously. So, breathe in the view is this month's topic. Breathe in the view. And what I love about this picture is the vast openness and opportunity of. And it's a vista. It's not the tallest of, but it's high enough to look around. And today's topic is the view from here. Unfortunately, especially in our society, we have a We have the habit of what I call destination happiness. When I get this, then I'll be happy. When I drive the right car, when I have the right job, when I have the right job, when I have the right mate, when I have enough money in the bank, when I lost weight, when things go the way that I want them to go, then I will be happy. Well, if my kids just did what I wanted them to do, and it's so funny because we think that when they're little, and as they get bigger, it's just completely, amplified. The whole point is we're meant to do what we're meant to do. And life as an individualized expression of divine is just that. It's individualized. And the beauty of this teaching above all else is that there is no wrong. Every quote unquote wrong thing I ever did led me to the right place I'm supposed to be right now. And that comes from within. There is nothing anyone could have ever told me or anyone could have showed me at that time to tell me otherwise. We walk through a lot of muck in our lifetime. And today we're going to take some time to reflect on the journey, our growth, our challenges, our opportunities, but not stay there. See, the whole point is that we're always on this journey and there is no destination. In the end, the one that dies for most toys doesn't win. You're still in the same place. The one that had the most love, the one that had the most joy of living, that is the one that wins. And we win in each and every moment because the power is only ever in the now. One of the things, and I actually wrote it down because it was so perfect, that Reverend Valerie said was, all that it took to come to this moment. And oftentimes we don't give ourselves that credit. We don't think about what it took me to get here. What did it take me to get up this morning and have enough oomph to get myself moving and going? Took a little less. I got an extra hour's sleep. Love daylight savings time. However, everybody else was out. It was so funny because the traffic pattern was different. Because everybody got that extra hour, they were able to move easier. So how do I do that for myself and give myself those extra on a regular basis? How do I take that time for me to charge? Because it's never about anyone else. It's always about me. And we forget that sometimes. This is, without a doubt, what matters most. What you think about you. When you look in the mirror and you put your head on your pillow, what are you thinking about? How do you feel about you? Now, everyone is different, and everyone comes from a different background and in different opportunities. Some people were blessed to have wonderfully supportive people in their lives that told them they could be anything, they could do anything. I saw a billboard on the way in today that actually said, "Watch me." And it was this young girl, and you could see the determination in her eyes. She was probably 8 or 9, and you could see it. And immediately she said, "Watch me." And you knew she was going to be and do, and she could do anything. Do we look in the mirror with that same conviction every day? Because everything we do, thoughts are things. We know that. So if we know that, are we looking in our eyes with that same conviction? The Buddha said, with our mind, we create our own world. So you are doing that. Now, whether it is conscious or not, you are creating your world. So when you worry about circumstances, I don't care if it's a bill that came in you weren't expecting, or if it is, a child of any age, because, whether they're little or adult, you still have that worry sometimes. or people that we care about, our family, loved ones. Maybe someone has a diagnosis. Maybe you have a diagnosis. Maybe there's some kind of financial struggle. Something's going on. Do you look in your eyes and tell yourself, Spirit as you has this? Spirit's got this. I know it of you. Do you know it of you? Sometimes it's a lot easier to say that to the people we care about than it is to say it to ourselves. And we've got to ask ourselves, why is that? You know what you've been through. They don't know what you've been through. Why is it easier to take it from someone else than to believe ourselves? That's conditioning. It's not arrogance to be confident. There's a difference. Arrogance is better than. It's also less than. Who am I to say I'm less than anyone else? Spirit created each one individually perfect for who and what they're meant to be. So who are you to question the divine at its handiwork? Isn't that arrogance in itself? To be less than we're capable because we're afraid, well, what will people think? What if I fail? You try again. Maybe that wasn't the road I was meant to go down, but I'll never know that if I don't go down it. I've spent the past 25 years in Rhode Island, and I've loved Rhode Island. And here I am back in Boston. But had I never gone to Rhode Island, I wouldn't have my husband. I wouldn't have my daughters. I wouldn't have the life that I live where I found this teaching, and everything in my life would be completely different. I would not be who I am today if not going to Rhode Island, which was for a business that failed. And if I look back, why did I even get into it? I don't know. But I got into it because of that, because it led me to exactly where I'm supposed to be. We don't see the world as it truly is, but through the state that our heart is in. And that's who a healer. And the state that our heart is in. So what does that mean? What does it mean when we think about what state is my heart in? So how am I spending my time? Part of breathing in the view, right? That's what we're talking about. Being right here, right now. Where's my mindset? I like the term check up from the neck up. I always talk about emotions as the rumble strip of life. If I'm happy, I'm smooth sailing. There's no traffic, I'm good. If I'm angry, if I'm perturbed, if I'm annoyed, resentful, sad, grieving, whatever it is, there's a rumble strip there. And I can recenter myself so that I have that smooth sailing again. Now, what does that look like? Is it easy? Not always. But the truth is, we have the tools that we need, through the tools that we have in our spiritual practices, to be able to do that. Now, sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need to be around people. That's where a beloved community comes in more than anything, because my spiritual family knows me. And if I'm hurting, they care. And they want to help me. And they can help remind me to use the tools I forgot I had. They can see in my eyes, because that's where the soul leads. You can see in someone's eyes, right to their soul. And when it's lit up, that's spirit. And when it's not, that's a disconnect. That's a disconnect. So when we look at people, I know a good portion of my life, I remember looking at my dad. He was lost. And I was a kid. I mean, I didn't know what any of this meant, but I was 10 years old, 9 years old, and I'm like, he just looks lost. So I was always sensitive. Now I know that lost feeling, and we see it in people's eyes all the time, is a disconnect. Anger is a disconnect. And it may not feel like a choice in the moment, but it is a choice. I can stay stuck or I can do something different. Forgiveness heals me, not someone else. It doesn't say that it's okay what you did. I'm not accepting the act, but I'm not going to let it hurt me anymore. I don't approve of it, but I still love you. And I don't have to like some people I'm not with. I'll tell you, I turn on the news and I hear some things and I think, not on my favorite list. And I also know that there's only one. And I don't have to like you, but I have to love you. Because if I don't love you, I'm poisoning myself. So I pray for anyone that triggers that in me, brings up something to heal. So it is a place to say, Spirit, fix my eyes. Because I have no power if I'm giving it away. So when I am breathing in that view and I am being in that moment, checking on my heart, if it's heavy, I can choose to lighten it up. It's not always easy. And it's not what everybody else tells you. Because you can call those friends that sit there and say, oh, they said what to you? They did what to you? And they get self-righteous indignation. I'm so good at it. And it gets me nowhere. It depletes my power. And it certainly doesn't give me peace. It disconnects me from the vastness of this present moment, from the possibility. So if I'm replaying the past, I am not thinking about the future, and my heart is not. Never limit your view of life by any past experience. And that's from Ernest Holmes. I don't care what you've been through. It's not who you are. It's not what you are. And it's not what you're capable of. Everything you've done is to get you to who you are right now. There is some wonderful good meant for you. Without a doubt in my mind, there's some good. I always say the best is yet to come. My favorite, my tagline on every email and my personal affirmation all the time is the joy is in the journey. And that is all about the view from here. There is no destination. Destination happens in that. It is about being right here, right now, and realizing it'll never be what it was. One of the little cards in the video talked about, spend more time with my family because I don't know when I'll see them again. How many loved ones do we have that aren't here anymore? Not on this plane. And I truly believe life is eternal. And yes, I will be with them again. If not really with them now, it's just a matter of I can't hug them. I can't call them. And how many times do I wish that I could? So right now, I need to be present in. I choose to live without regrets. My sister transitioned at 38 years old, and it changed my life. I miss her every day. I think of her and I miss her every day. And I think of how different my life would have been with this best friend. And I'm so grateful for the gift that I have for as long as I did. I can't be grateful and be in that place of grief at the same time. So I choose gratitude. Imagine being given the best gift you've ever gotten and then saying to them, yeah, but it didn't last long enough. It was a gift. We buy flowers all the time, knowing full well they're not going to live forever, but they're beautiful. Are you not buying flowers because they die? Or are you appreciating the beauty, the scent, and the sentiment in them right here and right now? Thanksgiving is a month. This to me, November is a month of gratitude. And you get to choose. And I don't care what's ever happened in your life. When you choose now. Because if you keep thinking and focusing on what was, you are guaranteed to have more of it. And if you choose differently, you get different. So what you've been through is to be who you are. So where do you choose to go from here? And that's up to you. Deepak Chopra said, Your attention and interpretation create what you see and ultimately determine what you believe. A belief is simply an interpretation that you hold to be true. Okay? A belief is simply an interpretation that you hold to be true. So, we were talking about that a little earlier today in the sense of the vaccine. There are people that believe there's something about this that is not healthy for them. It's a belief that they've created. Now, I can know truth, but it is not my job to change everybody else's mind. Being against anything only brings more of it. You know this. Because what I think about and what I focus on, anything I'm against is going to bring more of it to me. So I can choose love. I can know truth. I can be grateful to know that I feel much more secure, that I am safe, that I am protected, that there are more being created, that there is an answer to what really, this past 2 years have been devastating to a lot of people. I don't know anyone that hasn't had a loss. I don't know anyone, whether it was a loved one or several loved ones, whether it was, I know I also lost my my beloved pet, my mom, and a few other people. And the gift in it now is we get to be with them again, and we get to look at it differently. One of the things that struck me the most is how outraged people were at the beginning of it all, that they couldn't go see their loved ones in nursing homes. People were absolutely outraged. And I was outraged at it because I go to nursing homes and there's nobody in them. Nobody went to see their parents. Nobody went to see their aunts and uncles. They were always empty, and I was so upset with that. I would be very frustrated that there would be one visitor in the whole time that I was there, and thinking, every one of these people raised children. They were somebody's parents or aunts and uncles, and they were alone. But then, when they couldn't be seen, everybody was outraged. So maybe the lack of being able to have access made people appreciate them more. Hopefully, they will then spend more time with them now. So whatever we missed, may we honor it more now. Things mean something different than they did before. Unfortunately, sometimes that's how it works. When we lose something, we appreciate other things more. We get a choice in life, and we get the opportunity to make decisions. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Max Planck. So, what are the things you're looking at? What is it that you're looking at and changing your mind about? When you look in the mirror, are you kinder to yourself? Before ministry, before I got into even CSL, I've been a life coach. And that's what I talk about. Who are you and what do you really want? There are no limits except what we believe in what it is we do. But not everyone has people that encourage them. Not everyone has that. Are you that for other people? Who's that for you? Because if you don't have that, it's time to find it. Make sure the people that you're giving to also give back. And not in a way of you're doing it for that purpose, but how often do we fall in the role of caretaker? Many of us, especially children, are taught roles of what the good kid was supposed to do. And we did it, not that we didn't love the people that we were doing things for, but we did it because we had to, more than it was because we chose to or wanted to. We may not have known we had options. There are options. If the phone rings and I'm exhausted, should I answer? Should I deplete myself more just because I'm used to it? And the answer was always before this, yes, there was never a question. Somebody needed something that I needed to be right there, right. But if I take from my source and I continue to deplete myself, I have nothing to give. So when do I recharge? I'm not giving from the best of me. I'm reactive at best at that point when I'm depleted. So it's not just in what we do, but the manner in which we do it in. And I get to make a choice. I need to fix my eyes and adjust so that I have the power, that presence within me. And that means getting enough sleep, taking care of myself, watching what I eat, and choosing healthier for me. Not because I have to, not because I want to be a certain size, although I'm telling you that's true too, but also because it's the healthiest thing for me. There's no one that says I can't. But part of loving and nurturing myself is taking care of myself. And if I'm not going to do it, no one else is. So it's being mindful that there's many aspects to this. And this, Ernest Holmes said, it is only when you view life from the standpoint of an expanding soul, destined forever to exist somewhere, that we can make either sense or sanity out of the human experience. If we view life from the standpoint that each is an evolving soul, destined to live forever somewhere, we shall see that in the long run, life must return to us that which we reflect into it. So that's giving and receiving. You get that opportunity in any given moment, any given day. Giving and receiving. What am I giving into life? And what am I allowing to come back to me? It's part of the flow. What am I giving out and what am I receiving? Some of us can't even take a compliment. How can good and prosperity flow to you if you say, oh, this old thing? You can't even say thank you to a compliment. When someone offers to help you with something, my default my whole life was I just handled everything. I never thought, could I, would I, should I? It was never a thought process. If I could do something for you and you asked me to do it, shouldn't I? Because that's what I was raised to do, to make everybody else's life easier. Never once thought of my own. And I thought, well, that's being selfless. And it also caused me to not look at me. And I never allowed help in. So before I knew it, I was depleted. I was exhausted. I played this cycle over and over again. I did more and more because what you thought of me was what I thought of me. If you were happy with me, then I had to be okay, right? I didn't know I was hollow inside. I didn't know that I didn't like me. I wasn't enough. I didn't feel that love. I didn't feel like an individual. I certainly didn't feel like an individualized expression of God. I didn't feel like that. And there's times that there's still, we have those days. Sometimes we feel like who we are and whose we are. Because when we know whose we are and what's for us, then nothing can really stand against us. And when we know life is eternal, there's nothing to lose. That there's an infinite shopping cart out there. Like you have the shopping cart of life and you can pick anything you want. And the gift is none of us want the same thing. We wouldn't drive the same car. We wouldn't go to the same vacation destination. We wouldn't live in the same house. It's an infinite amount, abundance in nature. So we wouldn't pick one leaf. We look at the trees. They're beautiful, especially this time of year in New England. We don't pick one. So why is it that we get in this rut of thinking we have to do what we always did because it's all we knew? So these are those moments that we get a chance to look at the view and we stop and we breathe in. Sometimes I have a hard time breathing in deeply. I don't know about other people, but I realize that I'm taking short breaths. That's anxiety in different forms. When I'm just getting through life, just getting through a day, it's not breathing deeply. It is that place of just kind of, I catch myself. And that's when I remind myself to be present. I don't care what it is I'm doing. If I'm doing and not being, I'm doing too much. We are human beings, not human doings. So it's remembering that in every aspect of life. It is knowing that no matter what, the journey continues. It's not just here and now, it is eternal. But right here, right now, what do I choose to do with this playground called life? What do I choose to do? I was listening to a song in the way, and it's from Pink, and I love Pink. I love her attitude. I love her sass. She does it her way, and she lives boldly. And she's not perfect. She'll tell you that, but she's authentic. And the song is, if God is the DJ and life is the dance floor. What if God was the DJ and life is the dance floor, and love is a river? And it goes on, and I love that analogy. And it says, and you are the music. You are the music in your own life. Are you singing? Is it a comedy? Is it a tragedy? What is the life you're living? You get to choose. I love this, and I've seen this many times, many places, but I love this picture. What matters most is how you see yourself. It's not about anybody else's. It's your view of you. And we can work on that. And when I say work, it's not meaning that something's wrong or broken. It's clearing away the false beliefs that we talk about. It's letting go of those stories we were told, the misconceptions that we had, and we didn't know what we know now. It's allowing Spirit's voice to be louder than anything on the outside. It's letting go of the fear and allowing the faith. It is being right here, right now, in gratitude of even the lessons. Letting go of the what ifs, because it's exactly as it was meant to be. Delving into my spiritual practices, because they are my tools for living, that keep me in this present moment of knowing that I am enough, I have enough, I do enough, and all is well, regardless of what it looks like. And when I'm not feeling that, surrounding myself with the right people that remind me of it. Because when we practice these things, and we become part of a spiritual family, we get that opportunity to be right here, right now, appreciating our gifts, our life, and what we share with the world, giving the best of us, and remembering that the joy is in the journey. It's not about the destination. The best that it's ever going to be is right now, because that's all we ever have. That's the power of now. Does it feel like that? We can do, have anything we choose. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I will never be a tall black man. It doesn't work that way, okay? I get that. Like, we're not going to change that, at least not in this lifetime. But I get to choose what I read. Let's live in a country that I can choose what I read, what I think about, what I do, who I surround myself with, how I spend my time, how I share my thoughts, what I give, what I don't. I get this opportunity of life. So in that knowing and gratitude, in that blessing, I'm gonna be handing it over to Darlene again, and she's gonna be talking about that gratitude of spiritual family, that gratitude in that place of, when we circulate what we have, what does it mean? So, Darlene, come on up. For the month of November, we're going to do this for Thanksgiving, really being in this place of circulation, being in this place of Thanksgiving.
Well, hello again. I'm very happy to speak about this topic because this center is reemerging and we need to honor the community that is out there waiting to manifest for us here at CSL Greater Boston. And it isn't, before I share what I printed out, which is actually something that Master Teacher David Alt has written about sharing, I do want to comment that for many of us, and I remember my folks too when I was younger living at home, this is really a long time ago, but the people from church would come on Sunday night and sit in your living room and they would browbeat you into making a commitment. And it was uncomfortable and there wasn't anything holy or divine about that. And then I've had many experiences on this journey about sharing my gifts. And one community I was in, I felt very unhappy about some of the very vicious gossip that was going on. So I thought perhaps I should speak to the minister about it because I tend to do that. And she invited me to find another community. And to top it off, they still came after me for my pledge when I had been asked to leave. I mean, it does leave a lot of sour grapes for many of us who wanted to share and be there and be authentic. But guess what? When you come here, you can be authentic. And we share our time, our treasures, our talents. And we have an operating budget. Hello again, I'm the treasurer. But we are building, and I'm going to read what David wrote because it's inspirational, and his words just capture why sharing in a community where you are loved and appreciated, respected, and can be your authentic self is the greatest gift there is. And we have that here at CSL Greater Boston, and it is going to grow, and we want you with us on this journey. So here we are. The first quote that David shared was this: "You really exist only when you are in a field of sharing." That was Timothy Leary, and we know what he was sharing, but it goes beyond that. Anyway, David writes, for reflection, and this is what I share for you today to reflect on. Did I share my good this year? Really share? The kind of sharing that comes from the pure joy of seeing another succeed, not from what I think they can or will do for me in return. Did I tithe back to where I was spiritually fed, transformed, and inspired? Did I practice random acts of kindness and give of my time, talent, and treasure, realizing that my good is a part of a never-ending wellspring that cannot run dry, whose source is and always will be the infinite wellspring of the divine? Did I commit to walking the altruistic path, remembering that every step brings healing and enlightenment to the world? If not, please resolve to be and do better in your sharing as I will in my sharing. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. And with that, we are going to go into our sacred giving affirmation. And I invite you to say this with me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And we have our little butterfly to go around. And in that knowing of circulation, and we have 3 ways that we offer it with our center, and it is through PayPal or text giving. And it's also on our site, and we're going to put up banners for it. Thank you, Chris, if you can put that banner up for us. But I have announcements, and before I go into those announcements, I am going to go into prayer. Knowing that right here and right now is exactly where I'm meant to be. I invite you to take a breath and know that this present moment, right here and right now, is all that there is. And I know that that one love, that one divine allness, that creator of life, the seen and unseen, the Alpha and the Omega, and everything in between, omniscient, omnipresent, and opulent. Knowing that that one spirit, that divine life, created me, that I am an individualized expression of that life, that allness, that absolute love and peace. And as I know it of me, I know it of each one within our beloved community, each one that listens to this message, whether it be live or later, each one is a divine expression of life itself. The music, the song, individualized, perfectly in harmony. Knowing that there is a calling for each one, knowing that each one is living that purpose, taking in the view, appreciating what was, letting go of what no longer serves, and receiving the abundance, the prosperity, the life that is promised as the divine child of that one creator. Knowing that that infinite potential is each one's birthright. I claim it right now on behalf of each one. I claim the gifts of peace, joy, love, those inherent qualities of divine that are mine, that belong to each one. I claim them to be manifest in amazing ways, knowing that today and this coming week is blessed. I'm so grateful for that knowing. I know that we are guided, guarded, and governed in this beautiful community with CSL Greater Boston, knowing that we are that beacon, that light, bringing forth truth and attracting all that need it, knowing that divine is guiding in every way and providing in amazing ways. So I claim the power of the universe right here and right now, knowing that as it's spoken, it cannot come back void. I give it over to the law, letting it be the doer, letting it be easy. I set it free in joyful expectation and celebration, filled with gratitude. I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us. There's so much. We've got a new class starting this week, Prosperity Plus 3. If you're interested, please contact me. You can go to the website, which is, if you're going to pull up the website, or you can go to Facebook and reach us. Okay, there's information on the slide right here. If you're on a tablet or you're on your phone, you can just screenshot it, and you can go to our website if you need to. But you can reach out to me, and come on, and we'll get you whatever you need. We'll make sure you have whatever you need. So it's going to be Tuesday nights starting this week. And even if you're just asking about it, there is no greater way to put a flow into your life than to come together and know prosperity. I want to mention the convention that's coming up in January for CSL, and the early bird registration ends November 15th. We have visioning we do every week, and it helps us vision and know what is to come, what is the next right step for this beloved community. Everyone is invited. Whenever you're able, know that we are there. It's noon on Mondays. And we're actually going to be having a marketing meeting afterwards. And if you have any ideas, we'd love for you to join us. So join us via Zoom. And this information is also on our Facebook page as well as our weekly newsletter. So I invite you. All are welcome here. And I am so grateful that you chose to celebrate your journey with us today. You are a gift. You are perfect. And may you be blessed that you know it. Thank you for being here. I love you and I look forward to seeing you next week. Blessings and love. And we're going to go out on a wonderful song, The Climb, because every step of the way, it just gets more and more beautiful. Blessings and love to you. May you have an absolutely fabulous week. Namaste.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments